Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. So right away, we've now got issue 134 of Eagle Moss's Build a Delorean. You know what, today's the 25th of July 2019 and it's been forecast to be the hottest day ever in the UK, which is like 40 degrees. Now, for all you people who live over the pond and down in Oz, we don't have air conditioning in our houses, so I've got a fan absolutely pumping air at me as we speak. So if my sound sounds a bit distorted or I sound like a Dalek or a Darth Vader, it's because there's a fan right next to me, keeping me cool so I'm not like, you know, just pouring a sweat on camera. We're going to be going back to the hood on this one. Remember that? Looking like this. In this issue, look, we've got loads of fiddly details. Lots and lots of little things to put in place. But we're not going to need glue, which is a good sign. Let me just show you what we are going to do. We're going to be putting this plate in here. Now, the funny thing about this plate, to get that in, we have to take out that little structure support that we had. Put the plate in, replace it again, then screw the plate down. And then we're just going to be putting some little details in. So by the end of it, we're going to be having all of these components in the hood box there. What's this? A Nissan R35 scale model GTR, an exact 1/8 replica. They're pushing that at the moment. That's the latest leaflet. You're going to love what's coming in the next issue. We got another railway tie. So that's going to be like a 5-second video, which you've already seen. So and you're not going to see it for another 2 weeks, because I said I'm on holiday next week. So can you wait for that, I wonder? Who knows? I'm sure I'm going to think up something that's going to make that a lot more exciting, but we'll see. Anyway, without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, so the first thing they want us to do is this little silver thing we put in here, silver structure support, we need to take it out. But when we take it out, we need to sort of slide it out, duck it under the wire like that, so that the wire will still stay up to enable me to put in the plate, which is going to go over the top like this, making sure that that wire fits in. Now I want to make sure that this plate is actually fully pushed down in all areas, including behind the battery box there, which is going to be a little bit tricky because you've got a switch there and that's going to need to go under the switch. So what we're going to have to do is pick that up again, and we're going to have to sort of put this in that way and then down, so it goes over the switch first, and then it should fit absolutely flat like that. Now this is going to be secured in place with IP screws, and in this one they give us some QP screws, they give us some AP screws, they give us some MP screws, they give us some IP screws, and these are the ones that we're going to be using now. So let's open them up. So before we put this in place, I'm just going to replace this structure section that they wanted us to keep in. So I'm going to put that down, revolve it round so that the track fits perfectly on it, and just give that a push down, and there we go, that's looking like that. Now when we secure it, it's going to be held in by 3 screws, and these screws are going to be going into this hole here, the one at the back here, and this one up here. For some reason we're not doing this one down here or this one. I don't know what that one's for, but they said 3 screws, I'm screwing it in with 3 screws. Let's get them in now. That's the first one in. Second one at the top there, and the third one just over this other side, just on this edge right here, and then that will keep that plate fully in place like that. Now we're going to put some details in. The first detail we're going to put in looks just like this, with 2 lugs on the back, and this one's going to be going in to the holes just either side of this structure here and here, and it is just a push-in thing. It's symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which way round we put it in. It's very good that we don't have to use glue on this build, but that's what that looks like when that piece is in there. The next component we've got to do, we actually have to build. So what we need is this section looking just like this. We're going to need the rod, which was actually bouncing around in my unit when I got it. That's just going to be going into here. We need to secure this rod in place. Now to do that, so that sits like that, a little bit like a toilet roll holder actually. Now to hold that in place, they gave us some little plastic plugs, and when I say little, they are absolutely tiny. There we go, look, I've got them with my tweezers there. So all we've got to do is line them up, and then put these plugs in this side can only go in way to hold this in. So I can see this being a little bit tricky, making sure we've actually got this in place. That's one side in, and then we're going to do the same on the other side. Make sure that it's the longer end that's going in, not the short end, because there's a little bit coming out the other side as well. This is fiddly. It's almost to the point where you might need to use tweezers, but once it's in, I'm only putting it in gently, and then I'm pushing it down just on the desk here, but not too much, because we have got a detail. You can see that on one of these cameras, actually probably on the side camera, just a detail on top there that's very small. But there we go, that's both of those pieces in. Once we've got that, we need to put a metal grill over the top, and this time there's no bending of the metal grill. The metal grill comes pre-formed, so all we've got to do is just put that over the top like this, and it should hold itself in place, no problems at all, like that. Now there is some holes for it to line up on, if you can see that, and they're going to be held in with OP screws. Now these are really tiny, so let's get these out. Now we need 4 of these, so I'm going to load up my screwdriver, line up one of the holes, and we'll get this in place now. There we go, that's the first one in. It's nice and easy when you line them up first time, if they go in first time. Now I'm still using a PHO screwdriver. Sorry, PHO. I haven't gone down to the PHOO. If you find that your PHO screwdriver is too big, then just go down to the PH000, and that should be fine. But while the tool's doing the job, I'm not about to change it. Here's the third one. And last but not least, the fourth one. Quite a few screws left over there, which is making me wonder if we need them for later on. It's very rare for them to put that many spare screws in here. There we go. And that's in. Looking just like that. Now this detail is going to be going onto this section here, just above that detail that we put in first. There is a lug to line it up. So where have we got a little lug here? We've got a hole just there, and that will ensure that you actually put it in the right way. So that's just going to sit in just like that. It's going to be held in from the other side with NP screws. So once again, that's another bag of screws I'm opening up just to put a detail in. So let's get that in, turn it upside down. As you can see, we've got 2 screw holes just on the other side here and here. So get them in. That's the first one in. If I haven't said it already, I'm saying it again. God, it's hot. And it's only like, looking at the clock, it's 12:30 in the afternoon. And you do know that normally the real hot weather hits you around about 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. So not looking forward to that. But there we go. That's the next component in. Now the next part we need to put in is the battery cover. That looks just like this. And then the battery cover, quite simply, see, it can only go in way and way. It just follows the shape of that. We slot it in that way. Just put it down like that. So that's nice and covered. For the next detail, we take out the spring and we take out the cage for the spring. Move that all to one side. Quite simply, we're going to be putting the spring into the cage, just like that. Nothing else to do on that. And this is going to be going just underneath that detail we put in on the edge there. It doesn't matter what way round we put it in because it is pretty symmetrical. That's going to be held in with AP screws. God, they really do like giving us different screws for different things, don't they? So holding that in place while I line this up, and we'll get this screw in. Nice and tight. We do the other side. Once again, nice and tight. And there we go. That's that piece in as well. We're getting there, aren't we? Okay, a couple more bits to put in. We've got a vacuum tube. That's looking like that. And that's going to be going into the side of the battery compartment there. As you can see, we've got some lug holes there for these lugs to fit in. Again, doesn't matter what way round it goes in because it's pretty symmetrical. And they just push in like this. There we go. That holds in place lovely. Look, no glue. That's something I really do like about this. Tiny bit coming up. In this little hole right there, we've got a clear sort of like part, which looks like an LED, but it's not an LED. Does that make any sense? We're going to push that into place. And once I push that in, I'll show you what it looks like. It can only go in one way because as you saw there, I tried to push it in with the thick end and that didn't work. But that's just going to look like that. Just that detail there. Now that detail we just put in there, on top of that we've got this little metal cage to put in. That's going to fit just over the top of it, like this. And then this mesh here lines up with the holes that we've just got into the hood box there. That's going to be held in with OP screws, which are the really tiny ones. There we go, that's the first one in. I have actually just gone down a screwdriver size to the PH 000. They're actually a lot easier to put in with the smaller screwdriver. Here's the second one. Nice and tight. So there, that is looking like that. Nice little detail, that one. And basically we're left with this little detail here, which is 134K it's labelled as that. I'm going to keep it in the box because I've just looked through the instructions again. It doesn't tell me where that goes at all. If I'm missing something, please put something in the comments there where it goes, because I'm definitely looking, as you can see, and I can't see anything which refers to 134K in the instructions. So when you come round to that, you're probably going to spend about 20 minutes looking through the instructions, just like I'm doing now, to see if I've missed something. And yeah, I definitely haven't missed something. 134K is definitely not in here. So save that part. You're probably going to need that next time. But that is all there is to do in this issue. So that's what it's going to look like. Now, thanks to Vince Steele, who noticed that I've got a lot more lights on this than I thought I had. I'm going to turn the lights on now because there is 2 in the battery box there. But that is what that's looking like at the moment with the lights on. Pretty cool, but unfortunately, let's turn that off. In the next issue, we're going back to doing railway ties. And that's going to be in 2 weeks, as I said, because I'm on vacation this week. This is the last video that I'm doing this week. So as I said, you're going to be in absence for the next week and a half. But I will promise you an influx of content when I return from my holiday. If you did like this video, please remember to give it a like. And if you haven't done so already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, see you in a week and a half. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please remember to give it a like. And if you haven't done so already, please remember to subscribe. Take care.